Welcome to the explanation of my lesson plan. As you could see, my lesson plan is about mechanics in the Pokemon series, and it's one of the base mechanics of it. It's the table of resistances, effectiveness, and immunities of the different types. This mechanics is based on a very simple system that is very common in the genre of the RPGs, and the name is rock, scissors, and paper. And it works exactly the same as the game we play. The paper covers the rock breaks the scissors, and the scissors cuts the paper. Once we have that in mind, we can see that it isn't very complicated. But the thing with Pokemon is that we don't have only three elements; we have 18 of them, each one of them with their own characteristics, and it's not that simple as one beats the other, because as they are 18, we have to balance them, giving resistances, neutral damage, and immunities. Some of them are very self-explanatory, but some others have not natural logic and are more like for give balance to the game. And I will give more examples, but I will prefer to wait until we see more or less how it works. You can see in the presentation the 18 types, elemental types that there are. So we can move to the next part, that it's the 18 things, the 18 elemental types with their respective effectiveness, resistances, and immunities. As you can see, it is not that complicated, but once when you see it for the first time, it might be overwhelming. But it's not such the case. Okay, as you can see, for example, the bug type is is affected by the flying type, the fire type, and the rock type. And they are like again self-explanatory. For example, the fire that burns the bugs, the birds that are represented by the flying type are usually eaten by the birds, and the rocks that smash the bugs. And with that, we have different explanations of the different things. Some of them of these aspects are taken by the real world, like the bugs, but some other, like for example the fairy type, as you can see, that is immune to the dragon type. It, that doesn't have many sense, because in the world there are no dragons and there are not fairies, and this the fairy type was created later on just to stop the dragons, because at some point they were very powerful. It's just a quick view of how it works, but this is the complete table that you can see. Is when you first see this table for the first time, especially if you are a beginner that wants to get into this saga, when you see this, you go like, "What is this?" There are a lot of information, and you might be not very willing to get into this world. So I understand that, and I that's why I didn't show it, for instance, or at the beginning. But it's very easily once that you take only one element and see how it's working. And this is also actually more complicated if you add that some Pokemon have more than one type, so the resistances become neutrality, become debility for duplicated, if that's a word to say. And yes, and well, to end with my activity, um, I wrote a table with the 18 types, and well, the students will have to write only one of the abilities, one of the resistances, and one of the immunities. Something that I would explain in the class also is that not all the types have immunities, and that's why I decided to make the table like that, because I want to make sure that they put attention. And for example, we can believe that something that is super effective against other type is resisted by it, but not all the time. Sometimes it has neutral damage, and there are some that damage are effective against the other and vice versa. So they would have to pay attention. That's also a reason I picked this topic, because it's very, you have to put attention, and it's something that you need to be very aware of if you want to get it right. I think also that this is for people that wants to get in this world. It's not a class for everyone, or not a many think that it's for everyone, but that's also why I decided it. Like, it was a micro teaching. I thought it would be very fast, and etc. etc. And well, that would be it.